Welcome back to Life's Chillin'. My name is Avital, and this week's Parshat is Parshat Bamidbar. Parshat Bamidbar begins with taking a census of the Jewish people. And then it transitions into the meat of the Torah portion, the meat of the Parsha, which is focused on the formation of the tribes. So while the tribes were traveling in the desert, they traveled in these groupings. They traveled 3 tribes by 3 tribes by 3 tribes by 3 tribes. So 4 groups with 3 tribes in each of the groupings. And that was the way that they traveled, and that was the way that they camped throughout their sojourn in the desert. And actually, what's really interesting about the formation is at the center, so these are kind of the outskirts, at the center was the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the place where the Jews would go to serve God. And surrounding them was the Levite camp. The Levites were the ones who were performing the service, the Kohanim, all of those things. So it went Mishkan, Levites, and all of the other camps surrounding it. And a few years ago, when I did a Life's Chillin' video on Parshat Bamidbar, I spoke about the importance of surrounding ourselves with the right kind of people, of choosing who our neighbors are, and that we will get both their strengths and their weaknesses by being surrounded by them. If you're interested in that, I'll leave the link in the description below. But what I want to focus on this year is another idea related to the Mishkan, and that is of unity of Jews. Okay, so the Mishkan is at the center, making it accessible to all Jews of all walks of life, not just those who are the most learned or those who are at the highest socioeconomic status. It being at the center allowed all of the different tribes and all of the different people to come and to serve God. Each one of them, again, had that equal opportunity for that because it was at the center. It wasn't like it was way in the north corner and those people in the south had no opportunity to get there. It needed to be centralized so that it would be within reach. And it made me think about something that you've probably heard the joke. I'm sure you've heard the joke about the Jewish man who gets stranded on the desert island and he builds the synagogue that he will go to and the synagogue that he won't go to. As just like he's the one man on an island, but he needs to because of like the contentiousness of the Jewish communities. But what I was thinking about is that all of these tribes, they had their own personalities and their own attributes, their own characteristics. The commentators go through and talk about the ones that were strong and the ones that were fighters and the ones that were learned and the ones that were working. Each one of them had these different attributes, and yet they all came together to this same Mishkan. It wasn't like, oh, this Mishkan is for Jews of this denomination and this Mishkan is for Jews of that denomination. No, they all got together at the one Mishkan and served God. And I've been reflecting on it a lot recently as I was thinking about the unfortunate nature of like Jews only gathering across the different denominations in times of struggle, when there's something worth the community getting together for because there's been a tragedy. And that of course it's a beautiful thing that people come together in a time of need, but people should be coming together in times of celebration too. People didn't only visit the Mishkan for sad times, people were visiting it to give thanks and peace offerings to God too. And if we could focus a little bit more on the idea of this Mishkan, this one centralized location where all the Jews would go and where all the Jews would serve. And it didn't matter what kind of Jew you were or what you observed and what you didn't observe, you still came to this Mishkan and served others in your community. I think it would really benefit us because at the end of the day, you can get into community politics all you like, but we're still all Jews and we still all believe in the same God and have some of the same core tenets and values across all of the denominations. We all have that same thing about God being God. Whether we practice a certain way or not, it really doesn't make a difference at the end of the day. I think it would make God a lot happier if I had to imagine to have this sort of centralized unity, this place and space of worship where all of the Jewish people can go. And so I would encourage all of us to start doing that in our own ways. We've talked about on this channel before the idea of our homes being our own mishkans, our own tabernacles, since we don't have a temple, we don't have a tabernacle anymore, that our homes are our sanctuaries. I would start by encouraging all of us to bring in people of all types of Jewish denominations into our homes to gather and to create that space and place of unity. We should be inspired by the formation that the Jewish people were traveling in the desert. We should be inspired by the way that even though they were all moving in the same direction with God at the center of their lives. God, for many of us, is at the center of our lives, and God is what makes us centered at the same time. It's what keeps us grounded and focused on what is important in life. And to be able to share that with other Jews is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so I hope that we can, again, all take away that message of unity from this week's Parsha. Wish you all a wonderful week, and Shabbat Shalom, and I look forward to speaking with you next time.